Hello, everyone. So we're back, and we just wanted to give a little debrief on the channeling and just our perspectives on things that stood out, and we feel this could help all of us in integrating the messages and energies. So, Caroline, what stood out to you the most?
First, I will just tell you how I feel, because it's like if I have a lot of energies, I don't know if you felt the same way
Mm-hmm.
in the heart area.
Mm,
So that's why I placed my hands on my heart. It's like if it was very pressurized or condensed.
mm,
I don't know, but it was very into the heart area, heart chakra. Um, and as I will share a little bit of my experience with each and every one of you. So when I channel, I completely lose track of time. So I have no idea how much time we spoke. But I think that our guides made that perfectly. Uh, and and I think their message was really great, even though I remember most of things, but I am not sure I remember everything. Um, what surprised me is that for the very first time, in fact, I took notes, so I had to open my eyes while channeling in order to write few things because Ashtar, from time to time, they forget what they want to what they're talking about. It's like us. When we speak, sometimes we can just lose track and we say, "Oh, I don't know what I was talking about," and so it happens during while I channel during channeling, and so for this specific recording, it's like if they didn't want to forget anything, and so they wanted me to take notes. So I took few notes. um, so I had to open my eyes while staying in the channeling mode. Um, and yeah, I was surprised because I thought that Ashtar would talk about the spring energies are as, cleaning and clarifying, cleansing things. I was really expecting this answer, and so I was surprised when they said that it was about the collective, about gathering all together. And when I was channeling, I was there, oh, that's really not what I expect. So I was both surprised and also I was okay. So I channeled, but I wasn't really sure of the message that would come through because I was so yeah, I was very surprised. So I had to really trust the process, to trust everything, and it just so makes sense. That's just a perfect message.
yeah, I
How
love.
about you?
Um, yeah, that was what you said. I love what you said about the note taking and all of it. I think for the when you were talking about the note taking, that does make sense to me. I feel like, and I think it also a lot has to do with our own body, our own system, um and that is I think also directly tied with how our higher guidance, our guides can come through. And so, Caroline, you being a professional note taker, well, yes, well, she's a professor. But yes, but anyways, I think that was just a great way for them to kind of ground in the messages. And also, yes, I was also a bit surprised about the community. I felt that definitely Raw wanted to speak on that as well. And so I was surprised, but in a good way. And I was like, oh yes, this is what we should be talking about, what Raw wants to talk about as well. And I really the community aspect, and I think that's really what I think you could say the main uh, takeaway for me was, at least, in that ultimately when we create the life of our dreams, I do feel it's ultimately in community. As they say, as Ashtar said, it's the life of our dreams isn't to live alone. It's to live in community and create these loving communities that spread like a love fire around the globe and just spread and spread. And so I totally resonate with that message, and also Roz sort of the questionnaire, 3 questions of um, what is it that we wish to experience? Who do we wish to experience it with? And why do we wish to experience these dreams of ours? I think that's just a very practical way for us to become more clear. And when they were talking about, so Ra was talking about, it's good to be specific at times because when we're too broad, we can actually miss opportunities that are coming to us. And I totally understood that because until recently, I would say until last year or so, I was in this very just open and broad and kind of airy fairy, like, I just want the highest, just come on, just whatever, as long as the highest love and light. And and not to say that doesn't work, but I think as they said, it can be a little tricky to notice when our higher guidance or when an opportunity that is of the highest love and light comes to us. If we're just kind of way too spacey and out there, it can be hard to notice that, oh, this is something I need to act on. And definitely coming into last winter, or this, yes, so this winter as well, the beginning of the year, um I've understood more and more of this, and I am too as well, becoming more and more honed in, and to see that to really incorporate my excitements and passions and say, oh, okay, so I'm excited about this, I'm passionate about this. How can I pursue this in a loving way that uplifts all, and of course not just me, but not just my body, but all bodies, you could say, everyone. And this sort of community uh, purpose, intention, I think I definitely is very, very important.
I totally agree. I completely agree. And I think that more and more, you're right about the community that we're going to build in the different areas, even of our life. And that's very interesting how Ra and Ashtar also, they mentioned our family, our friends, our other relationships, partnerships, etc. It's like if we should see our life, okay, is this relationship, is that good for me, how am I creating loving joyful relationships with in that area, in the family area, in the
Oh yeah.
friendship area, in the work area, in everywhere. And so that we have to look and to have a look to our current life, where are we,
Mm,
in order probably to make some changes if we can, or to see things differently, but to see things clearly, in order maybe to adjust. And I also love the fact that they mentioned Gaia, because I think that most of us, or a lot, many of us have, as such as myself, I don't develop a strong relationship with the earth, um, even though I am surrounded by nature, but I don't feel the need to connect more. And this is something that is lacking, I guess, for me at least. And I should develop this relationship, because it's like if it was a non-existing relationship until now. And so I am beginning to have more and more, to be more aware of this relationship as well. And that's also great that they mentioned the body, because I know that, especially in springtime, yes, we are seeing ourselves maybe a little bit more into the mirror, and some of us can be very critical towards their body, and be only focused on the defaults, on the things that are not good looking enough for them, etc. And so we can criticize ourselves a lot, and way too much. And I think that what they want to emphasize here is also the fact that we should become our best friend, our own
mm,
best friend for our bodies.
yeah.
And that's a strong relationship that we must develop and make grow and grow, in order also to feel just more happy and joyful and loving, just toward ourselves. Because if we are bashing ourselves, and if we are our first enemy, it will be complicated to have the dream, that the life of our
Yeah.
dreams.
Yeah. Yeah, totally, totally. And yeah, and what's coming to mind is that um there's nothing wrong with beauty. There's nothing wrong with you could say desiring beauty, but I feel, the intent behind it. Are we pursuing beauty in a joyful way, in a loving way, or being kind to our bodies? And maybe there are parts of our body that we wish to express differently. But as you say, instead of looking at it through the lens of criticality and criticism and not good enough, being like, oh, there's just so much more room to grow. And something that really came to me recently was this idea that our bodies are our artwork and we are the artists. And I feel um, you know, it's healthy to sort of see a little bit of that distinction in that so that we don't identify too much with our bodies. And I think that's really important. And I think what Ross said, I think the quote was, our bodies are our artwork. You are the artist. Your bodies are, and I think so they said, your bodies are your artwork. You are the artist, and so create a divine expression of beauty through your body, and view it as in that artistic, creative way. And I think that's really important. And also, and yeah.
And I think that you channeled Ra, or it was a channel message, saying that we should also consider our body as our children
Ah,
or
yes,
a
yes,
child or a pet, Do you
yes.
want to speak more about it?
Yeah, I think yeah, totally. I think that's all kind of, as you say, and you also mentioned your best friend, and I think
Mhm.
they all really like blend together in that way where to take that sort of step back a little bit so that we don't identify too much, we don't see any, seeming issues or problems we have in our personal life, and we don't take it too personally. We're able to kind of step back a little bit and see and view our body as you say, more of our best friend, our pet, our child, our divine creation, artwork, and we are really the creator of it. We are the artist and the parent, and
And
so
also the way we treat our bodies, because,
yes.
for instance, we yeah, it can be just uh, a challenge that we could just launch for each and every one of you listening.
Hmm.
Just be careful to how you treat your own body, and just have the think of the thought, if it would be your child,
Hmm.
would you treat it the same way? If it would be your pet, would you do it the same way? Because I was noticing that, for instance, just brushing my teeth, you know, I can be quite aggressive, in fact, because I want to be very clean, and so I can be very,
Oh yeah.
very aggressive.
Washing my face
And
just like
yeah, let's say the same. And I was thinking, oh my God, but if it was my child, would I do that? Of course not. If
Yeah,
it would be no, I would do it more gently
yes.
and be more caring. And why am I doing that to myself, in fact? And so all of this is very unconscious, but maybe it can be interesting just to be conscious, or just aware, here and there about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love, and I think that's a great little challenge, and I think it's also another take on the golden rule, to treat others as you would treat yourself. And I think you could say it's sort of like a little, maybe a stepped back or stepped up version of that, where it's treat your body, treat yourself as you would another, maybe, but in a loving way, right? Because I feel many listening now to this video and our messages are already consciously on the loving path of how can we experience more love in our lives. And so I think naturally, because of that, our audience is can see the love in others and wish to treat others in a loving way. But I think we it's sort of like flipped around in that we don't treat ourselves in a loving way because as you say, it's unconscious. And I think yeah, it's important to kind of the upliftment of all, and our bodies are a part of all.
And also to remember that we are perfect the way we are,
Yes.
because sometimes there is just life, and some of us, some of you listening may have gone through things in your lives, and maybe some of you suffer from certain disease or other things. Sometimes there is also the pregnancy that can cause things to the body, and so we must just remember that we are just perfect the way we are, and yeah, and to accept also the way we look, that it may be temporary also, and our body is always changing. You
Hmm.
know, we are sometimes very good looking, and sometimes not that good looking because maybe we eat differently. But it remains just a perception, and it is always changing. So we just
Yeah.
also keep in mind that our body is just perfect the way they are, and but let's first begin to treat ourselves way much more and to love ourselves way much more. And probably it begins with our body, and yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. And to add to that, we are perfect wherever we are. We are perfect. We are perfect in this perfect process. And it may not seem like that. Ra mentioned that. It may not seem like that at times, but I do feel more and more I am also learning and experiencing that it is a process. And I think we are perfect wherever we are. And also we are powerful enough to express ourselves differently, to change something about ourselves. And I think the most powerful way to do that is in that loving way, and not in a forceful or condemning or critical way, but in a loving, gentle, uh, as a parent would guide their child. You know, a parent, of course, would, you know, if their child, if a child wants to be beautiful, the parent isn't going to be like, you can't be beautiful. That's superficial. No, the parent be like, of course you are beautiful. Let me help you to express more of your beauty. And I think it's coming back to that sort of, that the golden rule of just treat your body as you would your child. And I think magic will unfold, as they say.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Mm. Well, Caroline, do you have any other points or any other takeaways from our
Mm,
last channel?
no, I think we can keep it that way, this length, in order not to be too long and to speak for hours and hours.
Jamais.
Unless, except if you have something else that you want to share.
No, I think maybe just a further an extra emphasis on connecting with Gaia, and how Gaia is our is you could say another aspect, a big aspect of ourself. And and I think for me, what helped me was a kind of personification of Gaia, to see her as a being, because she truly is. She is, you could say, her own individual being in her own right, and to honor that, to cherish that, and to not just see it as a beautiful rock, but because it is a beautiful rock, it is a beautiful crystal, but it's intelligent, it's life, it's love. And I think that sort of personification helps to connect more deeply with Gaia.
Thank you, Leo.
Thank you, Caroline.
You're welcome.
And thank you all for joining us as well. This is quite the adventure for both of us. We didn't expect this to unfold in this way. However, we find ourselves here, and this is amazing. This is a amazing adventure journey. So thank you all, and Um, we will we will talk with you all very soon again. Yes.
And yes, thank you. So thank you, Leo, first, and thank you for each and every one of you listening to this message. And yeah, Leo is completely right. We did not expect anything that we are currently doing. So, so yes, so this is definitely an adventure, and so we hope you enjoyed and you are enjoying our videos, and that this channeling was helpful for you. At least this is the intent, and this is surely the intent of our guides and your guides as well. So yes, we greet you all in the love and the light, and we will speak again very soon.
Yes. Go forth with joy in your hearts.
Adonai.
Adonai.